Hello, my name is Carl Rowland with Sherline Products. On the previous video we went over touching off your tools and entering that information into your tool data page, your tooling offset page. In this video we're going to go through several small programs to run the part and run each program one at a time with the tooling that's used for that program. This method of stepping through your program is the most effective, so here we go. The next part of running a part is also how you run the part, okay? So I have 3/8 stock and I'm sticking out further than I should be, okay? Now, if you program your part in a CAD/CAM software and you give it this shape, and let's say I'm gonna bring the diameter down to 1/4 inch right here, and out here I'm gonna try and cut a full diameter ball onto it. If I did this in a CAD/CAM program, it would want to rough turn the ball, rough turn and finish turn this, or rough turn the 1/4 inch diameter here. And then what you have is a very small diameter and you're trying to machine out at the end. So this makes it even worse, okay? You're not only sticking out too far, but now you've whittled your stock behind the larger area of your cut down smaller. So things are going to go south on you really fast. So the way you would run this ideally would be to, like this part is going to be threaded, then it's going to be a 1/4 inch diameter, then it's going to be a 1/88 radius to a 1/4 inch diameter. So I'm going to rough turn and rough thread my threaded section all the way out here. Okay, then I'm going to go a finish turn and finish thread. Then I'm going to rough thread the front, rough turn the front and the front of the ball. Then I'm going to come in and rough turn the back, and then I'm going to finish turn what's left, the entire shape. So I have the largest diameter of stock possible while I'm doing the smaller diameter and machining on the part that's sticking out the furthest away from the chuck. Okay, so to do this, what I do is I always do my program in short programs for each tool operation. And then once I've adjusted my feeds, my speeds to optimize them, then I can put all those programs together, okay? The other one is if I have short programs, it's a lot easier to edit short programs. I don't have to go through 500 lines to get down to where it's doing this one operation. It's a short program and I'm just dealing with what that individual tool is doing, okay? So on this one, I go to my load program, and the first program we're going to run, I have them listed as program 1, program 1A, 1B, 1C, and so forth. And then again, you can put them all together as one large program after you walk it through all of this. So we're going to call it program 1. I'm going to load. Okay, as you can see, program 1 is roughing out the threaded section, which is going to be a 1032, and that's going to be my 55 here. I'm sorry, it's going to be my 55 boring tool. Okay, so that guy's on there. Go to program. Okay, rewind. Okay, now when I'm going through my program, if I hit cycle start, I'm pretty much going to be holding my finger on the panic button, wondering what's going to happen next. Okay, so the better way to do it is to click on single block, and now I can actually walk through this one operation, or one line of code at a time. So right now it's going for the 2,000 RPMs at a program. Once it gets there, then it'll go to the next block. Okay, again, I'm doing an X-axis move first. Okay, then I'm going to come down to my Z. Okay, and you can see in the line of code, the Z movement is going to go to 50 thousandths plus 50, so 50 thousandths in front of the part. And it's at a X diameter of 1/2 inch, which is larger than my stock. Okay, that looks like about 50 thousandths. The next move is going to go Z0. Okay, and the end of my stock is saw cut, it's not dead flat. Okay, so now it's going to make a facing cut to cut the end of the part. So it made that okay. I'm pretty sure the rest of it should be fine for this one. So right now I'm going to take it off a single block, and I'm just going to hit my cycle start cutting part. Okay. Again, I've got my boring bar with the insert facing down, so all my chips are almost all my chips are going straight down onto the cross slide. They're not flying up all over the place. Okay, it gets done with that. This has now been roughed out. I can actually measure my diameter, and I would do this with mics, but I've got calipers right now. And about 193, so I'm 3 thousandths over. Okay, so what I would do is go into my offset, my tooling page. Okay, it's tool number 2. I'm going to double click on tool number 2, and on my tool radius, I'm going to put in a minus, and that should be over by at least 1, so minus 0.002. That leaves me at thou for my finished pass to clean up. Save. All right, and now I would run that again and do a cleanup and measure it again. Okay, so I won't bore you with that. We'll cut it again and get back to this in a second. We changed our offset and we recut it. I've got a pair of mics now to do this correctly. Okay, I'm going to check it out. That guy's right on the money. Okay, so we rough turned it. I'm going to go to my program mode, program MDI. I'm going to load my program, so the next program is going to be 1A. On your program page, if you've done any conversational programs, your conversational programs will say the program name.wiz. If I were to click on 1A.wiz, what's going to come up is my conversational program page for to be edited or added to. Okay, I don't want that one, so what I'm going to do is just get out of this program. So what I want now is my one. I just did 1, so I want 1A, and I want 1A.nc. I'm going to load that, and this is my threading cycle. I'm going to go program, rewind, cycle start. Okay, again, it's going to go to 400 RPM for this one. When it gets within about 10 RPM of it, it'll start threading. Okay, another one I want to show you is okay. Right now it just made 3 passes on here and it just started to cut. If you can see where the tip of your threading tool is in relationship to the undercut, if I needed to move in a little bit more, I just made those cuts. I could stop, hit rewind, I'll hit rewind here, and stop my spindle. Okay, I can go to my tooling page, and for the threading tool, double click on it, I could go into the Z-axis wear and go minus 10 thou, or this already has minus 10 in it. I'm actually going to go, we'll go minus 20. minus 20 thousandths. All I did was just barely touch the surface of the material, so there's no problem of cross-threading. I hit save. Now the next time it makes a pass, I want to see if I can do that threading cycle and make sure that I'm not crashing the shoulder right here. So I'm going to go back to my program page, I'm going to hit rewind, and I'm going to hit cycle start again. So we'll see how close I get to the shoulder and whether the tip of the thread actually goes into the undercut area. Okay, it's pretty close to the shoulder. I think I'm good. And we'll just let this run its course. Okay, this particular threading cycle is using the 29 degree, so it's stepping forward at a 29 degree angle on each pass, which means the lead side of the threading tool is taking the bulk of the material off on each pass. If it was set at 0, then as you move in, both sides of your threading insert are cutting material, and you're taking a lot more surface area cut with it in a 0 degree program than you are at a 29 degree program. Okay, you can see that it's cutting the exact same thread pass on each pass. Each pass will take just a little bit more material because it's a deeper cut on the thread, but it's tracking really nice right now. Okay, you can also see that most of the thread is coming off of the lead edge of the threading insert, and that's because of the 29 degree. So that's got my rough thread. So now I'm going to go to the load program, and what I want to run next is 1B. 1B is going to be a finished turning cycle, and it's just going to take a 1,000 skim cut off the chamfer at the beginning and the OD. All right, I'm going to program, rewind. All right, now I'm going to do my finished threading cut, which is going to be 1C. For the finished threading cut, if I click on this, okay, it's a short program. If I click on it and I go Control E, I can actually edit my program right here. I'm calling this one up to show you. Basically, for the finished thread, all I did was take the exact same Z start point from the last thread on my roughing threading pass, and I'm bringing it in to 0.157. The last threading cut on the roughing one was 158 or 159, and I'm taking 2 passes at the same depth. And so it's just a cleanup. It's basically called a flex cut. And if I wanted to change this or add more passes, I could. Right now I'm just going to hit save, and it'll tell me that it's saving, and it's saved. I hit exit. If I had made any changes, RPMs or anything else, it would show here right now. Okay, I'm going to hit rewind again, and I'm just going to run the finished threading cut. Took a slight cut there, and this is the same pass, just a clean up. Now for threading, because I do have a finished threading program in there, right now if I had thread mics, I would measure my thread to see what my pitch diameter is, or if I have my mating part, which is a 1032 nut, okay, I would put it on here and see if it threads on. That's starting on and getting tight right there. So now, because I have a finished threading cycle, instead of running my regular threading cycle and watching it take 20 passes, all I have to do is go to my tool offset, go to the thread, and I'm going to say we'll take off, we'll go minus 2 thou. And minus 2 thousandths, save. Alright, now I'm going to run the same program again, rewind. And it's going to take 2 thousandths off. Okay, I measure it again, or I try it with my mating piece, mating part. Big fingers. And it's still not going on, so I'm going to come in 2 more. So now I'm up to minus 4. Save. Rewind, run it again. At this point, we've done the rough turn, the rough thread, the finished turn, and the finished thread. You would either check it with your pitch mics for the thread to see if the pitch diameter is correct, or check it with a mating part. We've got a 1032 nut. I already tried to put the nut on and it's not going at all. So one of the advantages of having a short finished threading program is your thread cycle might be 20 passes on a thread. Okay, if you have a finished threading cycle, which is doing just two finished passes, then what we can do is walk in the offset and just rerun the finished threading cycle until we get the thread on size. So right now we have the finished threading program is up. I'm going to go to the tooling page, double click on the thread. You have Z wear and X wear. The Z we've already got at minus 20 because we moved it in to try and get as close to the shoulder as possible. For the X wear, I'm going to move it in 2 thousandths. Put 2 in there, minus 2 thousandths, and save. And then we'll run the program again. There, and we'll see if this is going on. Let's go this way. Okay, starting the thread, it's still a little snug, so I'm going to run a few more passes here until I get it on size. I won't bore you with this, and then we'll come back and move on to the next one. So I've moved it in 8 thousandths now. Total of 8 thousandths, 2 thousandths for each run. And my 1032 nut screwing on there. And it goes all the way up to the shoulder. So we're good right there. So I just had to run it a few more times to get the thread on size. So right now I know what my X offset and Z offset should be for the thread. So now the next thing we're going to do is rough out the front of the ball, then rough out the back of the ball, and then finish it. So we're going to go with program 3. This is going to be my boring bar coming in here and roughing out the ball on the front, the 1/4 inch of the ball. Rewind. Okay, and again, it's going to move in the X-axis first, so I don't have to worry about this tool crashing into the part when this goes into the Z position. Oh, my bad, it's tool number 1. So this diameter right here should be 250. So we'll measure this. And at 267. So I'm going to go to my offset page. Number 1 on the X. Go minus 17, save, program, rewind, run it again. .49 8/10. For what it is, that's close enough. The next program is going to be, there we go. This one's loaded. Now we're going to rough out the back side. Same tool, and it's going to get pretty close to the chuck jaws, but it shouldn't crash. Okay, you can also see that we're pretty close with the boring bar to crashing also, which is why you want to have the distance between your tools enough to give clearance for your opposing tools. Okay, so that's roughing out the front and the back, and now we're going to finish the whole thing. There we go. Nice little end there. Again, I could have had multiple offsets in here, which we show in the other video. Okay, at this point we have each of the small programs dialed in. What I would do now is take the flash drive out and cut and paste one program after the other and merge the files into one long program. Then we're ready to start mass producing these parts, but it's a lot easier to go through one small program at a time for each operation. As far as editing and rerunning everything goes, that's how I do it. We're ready to start making some parts. Thank you.